Here at Y Upgrade, we often review older games that are still interesting to play and well worth the money to pay in shops. However, today I thought I'd do things a bit differently. I would review a game that you should definitely steer clear from. The game in question will be for the Atari 2600. If you see this game in shops, do not invest in it. It's considered as one of the worst titles for the Atari. So the game in question today is Ghostbusters on the Atari 2600. As with most movie releases, this feels rushed. No effort has gone into the gameplay, and really it has very little to do with the movie. If you're a fan of the movie, you know all of the characters. Well, none of them appear in this. You just get generic sprites with no names. There's also a Ghostbusters shop for Ghostbusters merchandise, such as ghost vacuums. And if you've watched the movie, you'll know that they have to make their own stuff. They don't go to some shop around the corner and buy all of their gear from there. It doesn't make any sense. So straight away, looking at the end label and the label itself, it's very plain, just black text on a white paper label. It's very uninteresting. They haven't even put effort into the label. So if you went to a shop and you saw this on the shelf, which one are you going to buy? One that's white with black text, or one that's colourful, has a nice image on it? Just for a comparison, I have Outlaw for the 2600, and you can instantly see which one is superior. Outlaw has lovely art on here, and they've used different fonts for the title and the company, and it's very nice, and it's well more solid than Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, you can't hear it here, but it's very flimsy plastic. It's just, you could probably throw this against a wall and it would break. If you threw this against a wall, it wouldn't break. So they've skimped out on plastic here and here. You know, there's no need to do that, and the contacts are well exposed, so they're going to get dirty. You're going to have to clean them. I've heard that people clean them with cotton buds with a bit of rubbing alcohol on the end, but you shouldn't have to do that. With Outlaw, if we have a look here, it's well covered, well concealed, and you've even got a spring-loaded mechanism to make it easier to slide your game in and out of the system. So already we can see this isn't going to be a very good game, but never judge a book by its cover. So I'm going to plug this into the system, and I'll give you a little run through of the gameplay, and we'll break it down, and hopefully it will stop you from buying this ever. So just for a bit of imagery here, this is the Atari. Imagine this is solid gold, okay? And this here is a turd. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the turd into the lump of gold, and what do you get? Gold covered in shit. But let's have a look. It might not be that bad. So here is the title screen, if you like. It's not much of a title screen, but it just gives you a preview of what the gameplay is like. I must apologise for the quality of the signal, but it's the best I could get out of my video player. So, as with any game on the Atari, if you want to start it, you have to press reset. This is the Ghostbusters shop, where the Ghostbusters buy their things to catch ghosts with. If this actually existed, people would just go out and buy these things, and they wouldn't need the Ghostbusters, so that was a stupid idea in itself. So what you want to do here is buy all of the items and a few traps, and after you've done this, you try pressing every button on the controller. There's only two. On the standard Atari controller there's one, but you hit it as many times as you want. You can't start, so you think maybe I'll press select on the console. No, that doesn't work either. So the way to exit the shop with your items is to change the difficulty from A to B with the switch on the back of the console, which makes perfect sense. So now we can start the game. Basically you have to go to these flashing squares, which are supposed to be, I assume, houses, and you press fire, and then you get this scene with the car. This car has some terrible issues. For one thing, it doesn't have a floor, you can see straight through it. And for another, it handles like some kind of Tron motorcycle. It can only go 90-degree sort of turns. So when you get to the house, you see this little green ghost floating around, because all ghosts are green. I suppose they were trying to play on the Slimer in the movie. And you drop your trap down, set up, you get another person, and then you wait for the ghost to come into the middle. Forever. Fire your streams. He goes straight over them, and then you have to wait for him to go towards your trap. And if you miss, he takes a dump on you, and you have to start again. So at the bottom there, you've got a PK meter. I think that's like a ghost energy kind of thing, but I don't really know. It just goes up and up and up, and there's a Zool building at the top. Once again, we see the car. You can use your vacuum to suck up ghosts as you drive along. But who's operating the car? Because there's no one inside. It's just a chassis rolling along a road. I don't know what's going on. The buildings have some issues themselves too. They have lots of windows, but there's no door, so I don't know how people get in. And the ghosts don't actually go into the building; they're too scared, so they just hover around outside, waiting for you to catch them, which you can't do because your streams aren't long enough, and they just fly over the top. So we just wait, hopefully get him, and you don't. Another point with this is that for one moment you're a car when you go into these buildings, when you drive, but as you're browsing through the town, you're a Ghostbusters logo. I don't know what that's all about. Were they that lazy they couldn't make another car? I don't know. I really probably won't capture much more gameplay because, as you can see, the video player is having some issues. Oh yeah, and if you go to one of the flashing yellow houses, there's no ghost there, so you drive there and walk away. Why they would waste their time with that, I have no idea. Hopefully I can catch this ghost. If not, I'm just going to turn it off. Hey, I caught a ghost. Yeah, and they sort of stumble around in joy. So there you go. That's pretty much the whole game till you get to the end boss, and I've never done that. After a certain amount of time, the giant marshmallow man comes along, and then you can't go into any more buildings, so you have to reset and start again and try and win somehow. I don't know how. You can kill yourself, as I said in the movie. If you cross the streams, then the entire universe will collapse in on itself. However, here you just melt. So there you go. That is Ghostbusters for the Atari 2600. Please do not buy this. If you're sane, you won't buy it, but if you're like me and you collect pretty much anything you can get your hands on, go for it, but you'll regret it. So, should you buy Ghostbusters for the Atari 2600? Well, if you enjoy listening to the Ghostbusters theme over and over again in a loop, in MIDI format that's been horribly butchered and makes your ears bleed, you should definitely buy Ghostbusters. It will give you brain damage. If that's what you're after, definitely go for it. It causes an incredible amount of pain as well. So if you're, I forget if it's sadist or masochist, but if you're one of those, you'll probably enjoy this very much. In essence, no, don't buy this. For the love of God, don't buy this. I would also like to give a shout out to a friend of mine who has a channel. It's a vlogging channel mostly, but he does do some, he gives you some interesting information and tips. He's called the Farty Doctor. I'll put a link in the description box, but you should check out his channel. It's quite good. I enjoy his videos. I watch every new vlog. It's usually very entertaining, but at the same time, you know, you get useful information across. So thanks for watching. I'll try and pick up a better game to play next time and something you'll actually enjoy. See you next time.